I'm Barry Benjamin, and this is Sustainable Life. We're here at Vegiterranean in Akron, Ohio, learning about a whole different world of food that is sustainable. I'm sitting here in Akron, Ohio with Dan and Bruce, and we're going to learn how to make this beautiful risotto appetizer that's sustainable.
We're going to take equal parts of a risotto I've gone ahead and made up ahead of time here. Equal parts of that. Some soy mozzarella I went ahead and shredded for us. Okay. Some basil, parsley, garlic, and shallots. Real simple. You know, 4 main ingredients here. We're going to add a little salt and pepper there for flavor at the end. Okay. And let's get to it. So like I said, equal parts of a risotto. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and take 1 cup of risotto. Okay, I'll let you go ahead and measure out with your hand. 1 cup of soy mozzarella.
1 cup of soy mozzarella. Okay.
Perfect. A tablespoon of shallots.
Okay.
A tablespoon of garlic.
Okay.
A tablespoon also of basil, fresh chopped basil.
Okay, so...
Perfect. And the same with parsley.
Okay.
Easy enough. While you're mixing that, let me grab us some cashew cream.
Okay. This is very invigorating, folks.
Okay. Now, cashew cream is something we use in the restaurant here to cook vegan to substitute for a heavy cream.
Wow, that's
so we'll
excellent.
Go ahead and, what we're going to use this for is nothing but to help get this a little wet. So let's go ahead and mix it up a little more.
All right.
We don't want to overdo it, and then we'll have too wet of a product. Let's get just a little bit more, like I said.
Right.
You can always add more, but you can't take away.
Okay.
Okay, next step I went ahead and did was we took some banana peppers here.
All right.
We've sliced, I don't know if you can catch that on the camera, across and then down the middle.
Right.
We've removed the seeds, which are a lot of the heat. These are still hot, and depending on the time of the year, they can be hotter generally in the summer months. So I'll let you take one, I'll take one.
Okay.
And what we're going to do, a lot of times it's easier to kind of take our stuffing here and kind of preform it. What we're going to do is just go ahead and lay it in the pepper there.
Okay.
Nice and simple. Our next step's going to be, we're going to put these on a platter. We're going to roast them in the oven at about 400 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes, or until you'll notice with the soy mozzarella it'll melt. We'll get a nice golden brown on the peppers themselves. And while they're in the oven, we'll go ahead and make a quick pan sauce for them. All right, so the next step making our peppers is we're going to make a fresh basil lime or block.
Okay.
First thing we're going to need to do is heat this pan up a little bit. So we'll start our flame. One thing you want to watch at home is you don't overheat this pan, because a lot of times when you add your garlic and shallots, they can scorch to give you a different taste.
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead and take a teaspoon of garlic. Okay. A teaspoon of shallots. A teaspoon of sugar. Perfect. And now what we're going to go ahead and do is add some white wine. Again, at home, you never want to add wine or any kind of a alcohol-based product to your pan while it's on the flame, because what can happen is this is going to flame up.
Right.
You don't want to catch anything on fire.
Sure.
So we're going to go ahead and remove that from the flame. We're going to add about a cup of white wine. And again, and this will be just enough for the 2 peppers we're doing.
Okay.
If you're having a party at home, obviously you'll want to make a little more sauce. So
sure.
While that's reducing, we're going to go ahead and take a teaspoon of the lime juice.
Okay.
Go ahead and add that in there. Perfect. And we reduce. All right, now that our wine is reduced by about half, what we're going to go ahead and do is take a vegan butter here that we use. We're going to go ahead and incorporate it into the pan.
Okay.
So what we want to do, and to me it's very important to use cold when you're doing this process.
Okay.
This helps to bind all the ingredients better. We're going to go ahead and take our product off of the flame to incorporate the butter. Real simple. Just going to go ahead and Mix that in there. You'll see that the butter's starting to melt.
Sure.
While I'm doing that, why don't you go ahead and put about 1/4 of a teaspoon of Wondra in with our mix, and what that's going to do is bind our two products together.
A little more? Or is that good?
Just a little bit more, yeah, would be perfect. You're okay. Start to smell the essence of the garlic and the shallots.
Beautiful.
So we have our key lime blanc here. And we'll go ahead and plate. Go ahead, put that on our plate. And there you can see I've tried to gain a little height, always more eye appeal when things are a little higher.
Sure. Very nice.
We have our beurre blanc, real simple. Can't do too much. We have our sauce. And just a little garnish. I went ahead and reserved some of the chopped parsley that we did earlier.
Okay.
We're just going to give that a nice little light sprinkle. And then some Parmesan, which is a substitute for Parmesan cheese. Today what we made here with the stuffed banana peppers, we bought our banana peppers and our stuff from local farmers. What that helps do here is really staying local. It cuts down on the emissions, being produced by trucks not having to travel as far, so that's why we try and keep it local here.
When we talk about sustainable, we give the initiative and we empower our people to come up with recipes, to come up with ideas, to make food more sustainable. Because again, being a vegetarian restaurant, we also take pride in the sustainable fact that most of our food is homegrown. And I about dropped dead when Chrissy said, let's do a vegetarian restaurant in Akron, Ohio, because Akron, Ohio is generally a meat and potatoes type town.
Sure.
And again, our executive chef, Scott Jones, took the challenge, along with Tal Ronan, and developed some wonderful food. And believe me, I wasn't a vegetarian when we first opened up this restaurant. And when I came up here, there's nothing that on the menu that I wouldn't have, or that I would that even taste that doesn't have the taste of a regular meal. So again, as I said earlier, this is one of my favorite dishes, and Bruce can tell you how it was prepared, and we can try it out.
All right. Bruce, could you tell me a little bit about what the tastes and flavors are in a dish like this?
Well, with the lime beurre blanc we made, it's going to give it, and we added some sugar to that, so we're going to get a nice sweet flavor from that to go along with the heat that we're going to get from the banana peppers. With the risotto, with the soy mozzarella we stuff them with, we're going to get a nice creamy texture, and it's all going to marry itself together real nice with the different flavors and textures.
My mouth is already watering. I'll tell you, that sounds great. Thank you.
No problem.
Bon appetit.
Spicy.
Well, I hope you agree with me.
Very
It's one of
good.
My favorites.
You guys can excuse yourselves. I'll just sit here and eat the rest of this, okay?
Not a problem. Enjoy it.
And we're back again for ProCon, this time talking about vegan cooking at the Vegiterranean.
Vegan cooking.
Yes.
I love a steak.
That's right. The factory farming with a steak is kind of frightening today.
It is very frightening.
I think I just the news this morning, there's a huge salmonella outbreak with salami, and they don't even know where it came from yet. It's all over the country. Right. All these people getting sick. So we do have issues. And so I think looking at these alternative forms of cooking is a really viable option.
And actually, what the food that they make at Vegiterranean, They do a masterful job of